how to account for the strange behavior of Mitch McConnell. By the way, this is not the first time on this podcast that I've taken up this question. I've taken up earlier in other contexts. But McConnell is a sphinx-like figure, and he says things that need to be unraveled, sort of parsed out, made sense of. And most recently, he was asked about Republican prospects for the midterms, and he goes, I think there's probably a greater likelihood the House flips than the Senate. Senate races are just different. They're statewide. Candidate quality has a lot to do with the outcome. Now, strictly speaking, what McConnell is saying is accurate. And what I mean by that is that, the likelihood of the Republicans taking the House is very high. The likelihood of taking the Senate is not so high. So when McConnell says there's a greater likelihood, he's quite right about that. Senate races are indeed statewide. And who can deny that candidate quality has a lot to do with the outcome? Of course, your candidates matter. But this is a strange statement on many levels. The first reason it's strange is, if you think about it, why say it? Even if it's true. Would you ever hear Chuck Schumer go, well, the Democrats are going to take a real beating in the midterms? He'd never say that. Why? Because he doesn't want to demoralize his own voters. He doesn't want to create momentum for the other side. So even if you fear that Republicans may not take the Senate, it's better to put your efforts to preventing that, to making sure that Republicans have the best chance that they do to take the Senate. And your comments obviously aren't going to be helpful in this regard. Now, there are 14 seats open in the Senate, and 2 are considered safe for the Democrats. 2 are safe for the Republicans. 1 is leaning Democrat, 1 leans Republican, and the other 8 are toss-ups. And this is according to polls that have in the past understated Republican support and Republican prospects. We all know that Biden is hugely unpopular. More than 70% of people say country's going in the wrong direction. So the Republicans actually would seem to be in pretty good shape. The Republicans don't have, by the way, bad candidates. Their candidates are not unflawed, but that is hardly a surprise. Herschel Walker, you take even Oz in Pennsylvania. I have some questions about Oz. J.D. Vance, Blake Masters. I mean, these are highly distinguished people in a variety of different walks of life, from athletics to the internet. And of course, Oz in his own right, J.D. Vance, author of Hillbilly Elegy. And then the Republicans have some good senators who are up. Ron Johnson, Marco Rubio, Adam Laxalt, who's running in Nevada, capable attorney general. So these are pretty good candidates. And they're running against a discredited party that has proven its incompetence and has a lot of problematic candidates of its own. I mean, Jim Fetterman, this ridiculous individual with his body covered with tattoos. And this guy he lives with his parents. He doesn't have his own place. Raphael Warnock, Mark Kelly. I mean, you've got this is not a time for McConnell, it would seem, to be complaining about candidate quality. Now, there's a kind of a Machiavellian explanation which is coming from someone on the left. I only mention this because it's kind of ingenious. Don't listen to Mitch McConnell. By downplaying Republican odds to retake the Senate, he's trying to lull Democratic voters into a sense of complacency. So according to this view, Mitch is actually being cunning. He's saying, oh, no, we're not going to take the Senate. Democrats go, oh, okay, good, we can relax. And remember, turnout is actually very important in a midterm election. So lulling the Democrats into a sense of complacency. It's not out of the question that Mitch is thinking a little bit this way. But there's also, I think, the other motive, and that motive is unfortunately not as pretty. It is kind of ugly, and it is the motive of spite. Trump is actually onto it. Trump goes, why do Republican senators allow a broken-down hack politician, Mitch McConnell, to openly disparage hardworking Republican candidates? And basically what Trump says is, why doesn't he spend his efforts and money to help those candidates instead? And I think the answer to that is that Mitch McConnell doesn't want Trump-endorsed candidates to win. It's almost like an I told you so. These Trump-endorsed candidates have been beating Republican establishment candidates. I mean, think about it. Mitch McConnell has this now deep-seated grudge against Trump. He didn't always have it. He had it. He was kind of anti-Trump at the beginning. He sort of warmed to Trump. Then he kind of pulled away. And then, of course, after January 6th, he's been raging against Trump. This is, by the way, a Senate leader on the Republican side who has not said one word about the Mar-a-Lago raid. Not a mention of it, at least not that I've seen. Not one word about Liz Cheney's defeat. He said nice things about Liz Cheney earlier, and then when she was defeated. So Mitch McConnell is not getting the message. I don't think he likes the fact that there is a change underway in the Republican Party, a change away from the Republican traditional establishment toward, well, a more magnified or Trumpified Republican Party. And I think McConnell's begrudging and really unfortunate comments are a reflection not just of Machiavellianism, but also of spite.